Hello. Third recording we're going on. It's probably not going to be the last because my dog just won't stop barking at shadowy figures outside. They're not even actual things, they're just trees that accidentally were just in the wind and he freaking yaps at them. It's really annoying. But wait. Okay, schedule time. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday can't record. It's just too complicated. Tuesday and Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and that's it. Or Sunday. I can't record on Sunday because Monday's after that. So Saturday, yeah, the recording schedule now. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Not Thursday. I don't know why the fuck I said Thursday, but not Thursday. Man, I'm bad at explaining my schedules. But let's ignore it for now and just get into the video so my dog doesn't continue to bark. Alright. We continue our story with Deku in getting his police outfit on, throwing on a very dark green scarf, and strapping up, and then getting into his police car, driving off, parking it next to the bus, getting in the house. Obviously, if you're wondering why Deku, nothing. What am I talking about? Ignore what I just said. Don't ignore the fact that he locked it. That is important. Deku then just goes inside, sits in a chair, and then listens to Aizawa just explain, don't wander into the forest, you might get captured by villains, because we are kind of predicting that they're going to show up. Now, okay, so, yeah, he's just chilling in the corner, and then he walks off after the thing is talked about. Well, obviously they're all getting their stuff ready while Deku's just getting to his car. So he gets in his car. Actually, no, he sits next to the bus. He leans against it, waiting until all of Class 1A gets on it. And he gets on, explains why he's here, again, just in case any of you forgot who I am. I am Izuku Midoriya. A cop, a police officer from random station of My Hero Academia, and then they just speak. And then Deku just walks down. And Deku just walks back out of the thing, and then just gets in his back into his car. Definitely noticing that someone tried to break in, but they obviously failed. And obviously just Deku gets in, closes the door, and then starts driving off. Then we see a shot of one of Deku's eyes and a shotgun behind him. That will be an important part of the story soon enough. And then they all start driving to the camp, and Deku sees the bus stop, so he has to take an immediate stop, because, he's right behind them. So he had to get out of his car, look what they were doing. Then he saw Class 1A just get yeeted. It's just like, damn. You gonna do him like that? And he gets back in his car, drives around the bus, and then speeds to the, since he's a cop, he can speed. So he just speeds to the forest. And then he gets to the camp, gets out of his car, locks it still, and then just runs to the freaking area. Because that is child endangerment, so he has to help. So he gets there, into the forest, seeing everyone struggling. Not struggling, perfectly fine. They're all, the stone monsters, but he has to help. So he starts shooting at them, and then the creatures start melting because lead. Deku just walks. He's walking off, by the way. Okay, we just woke up. Well, eventually they get to their thing with Deku perfectly fine, because, you know, he was just shooting a gun. He didn't run out of all of his ammo, though, because almost all of his ammo is in his car. He had a lot of ammo on him, though, so. And then Deku just walks off. Okay, so Deku just walks off to find this kid named Red Capped Guy. I don't know, he calls him that. He tries to introduce himself as Izuku, the police officer. He gets a nice one to the groin, though, just like that, but louder because his is bigger. And then Deku just completely ignores it. Deku knows some criminal is gonna go for that freaking cheap shot, and it just doesn't work. Now that's gonna instill some fear into you. You go for the guy, the male weak spot, and it just goes, was that supposed to hurt? And then he just fucking clocks you. Yes, that is scary to me, because I went for your weak spot, and you just went, does it look like I care? Yeah, so, yeah, I'm tangent there. Yeah, so Coda just runs away. Coda runs away, because, you know, he's scared. And the Izuka asked to sit outside the... Yes, since he's able to sit in the spa with the young adults, because, you know, he's also Bakugo's age. Yeah, so he's in that scene. Alright, so Deku... Okay, Deku just leaves. Okay, so Deku... Um, yeah. Yeah, so he's in that scene. Saves Coda still. Doesn't lose his towel this time. Because, you know, that's just embarrassing. In this Deku, it does not like to be embarrassed. So he has that towel can basically just tied to his skin. And then he, you know, saves Coda, and then just chills, waits for Coda to wake up, and then he just starts talking. Obviously, the green-haired girl hit on Deku because she did that in the original series, so why shouldn't she do it in this season? And then Deku just gets to sit with Coda and talk to him. Mostly it's just about what happened, and because Coda couldn't really remember, because, you know, he just went unconscious, I guess. So I mean, just apologize. Yeah, so they get a bond, but eventually they have to part ways because Deku has to go focus on the Class 1A students. And yes, they have their Kareem. Deku doesn't need anything because he has his protein bar. He predict, but this time it actually tastes good, not in like those series where the guy says, "I have my protein bar," he eats it, it's really bad. No, it's not bad. It's definitely better than the curry, though. I know so. But yeah. But Deku does accept the bowl to bring to Koda, because he knows where his spot is, because Koda explained that he does go to this certain spot in the area. He didn't say what spot, but Deku completely deduced it just from his expressions. So he just walked up the cliff, sat down next to Koda, and just put it there. So they're both just talking. And then Koda does Koda does explain Koda Koda does say his parents died to this villain, and that's the reason he hates heroes, because his family just left him for a job and not for him. And then Deku explains that he knows those heroes. They actually helped his mom get to the hospital to make him exist. That is not canon, by the way. I just wanted to mention that. So they both just start to, and then Koda does would like to be a hero in the future if Deku was there with him. And of course, Deku's going to be there right next to him, not as a hero, but like as his personal cop, like All Might has. And then then Deku has to stabs the ground with a pipe. Then Koda's confused. Then Deku wraps a rope around it, chucks it down, and it lands straight to the ground. And then Deku puts on some gloves, picks up Koda. For some reason, Koda's not understanding what's happening. Well, until Deku just gets clocked in the face by Muscular, and then Deku uses his gloves. They burn completely off, by the way, because that was like no freaking way he was gonna freaking survive those. Then he ran away, like a smart person. And Muscular immediately chases after him, but he does juke him out by hiding Koda into a tree and and picking up a log. And then he starts sprinting. Obviously, Muscular is chasing after him to crush him, but because he has beef. Because remember, he was the one that got him locked up. And yeah, so Deku finally gets to his car, opens it. Remember, it's still locked, so he has to get his keys out. No, he doesn't get the keys out. He just rips it off its handles. He's a very strong boy. And Deku grabs the shotgun, loads it. By the way, he's like real far away right now. He's a fast boy. Well, Muscular's a pretty slow guy. Yeah, and then he grabs a freaking another one of those electric bombs. By the way, he makes multiple of these now. They're really easy to make now, because he tack that. And then he also grabs a smoke bomb. It legits the smoke bomb on the freaking thing. And then he throws a smoke bomb as soon as he hears Muscular breaking down the tree he's next to. And then the battle begins. So Muscular is looking around, not knowing where this guy is. Obviously, he muscles up even more so he doesn't get tased. And then he hears a gunshot. Then he looks down. He looks to his side, seeing a bit of his muscle torn off. Because remember, he can't feel that. Because it's basically a suit of armor. So he just keeps getting shot around until he hears one of the shots. A shell, so he goes to slam down, but he misses Deku because that was just a pre-planned trap he made by taking one of the shells, putting it in a contraption he made that would replicate the sound of a shotgun if he shot it, if the bullet was hit hard enough. And yes, he can throw. Yeah, he threw a pebble at it, made it shoot, and then made Muscular get him, quote unquote get him, and And you're wondering why Deku was just shooting around him to get an opening, because there was a wide opening in Muscular, but he didn't see it coming. So then Deku grabs a chain of his electric bombs, throwing them one by one into the holes he made, pulling all the pins with a string, running away, and then as soon as Muscular gets tased to the point where some of his muscle releases from his face, Deku blicks him in the head and Muscular's dead. Yeah, the bullet slowly goes, and Muscular falls. Deku got him. By the way, he's a police officer. He can kill a man. But not like a hero can. A cop can. Especially with a villain. It's more seen as a heroic act than a evil thing. For some reason. This is My Hero Academia, not the real world, by the way. I just want to specify that. And yeah, in this universe, heroes are seen as the cops, and cops are seen as the helpers that can have somehow more freedom than the heroes. Mostly because they're not in their freedom, mostly. And then Deku runs back to Kota. Oh, by the way, his shotgun's out of ammo, so he just puts it on his back to use as a freaking bat. His car is... he locks it... He just runs away from his car. He does plant a bomb in it, though, just in case someone tries to steal some of his ammo. And then he runs to Kota, picking him out of the log, and then he runs to Aizawa, who's fighting Spinner, and then Spinner goes to strike Aizawa, but gets his freaking hand shot. Yeah, he pulls like Sniper, and then starts just blicking off Spinner until Magni, I think that's her name, smacks away the bullets with her thing. Obviously, it doesn't like redirect them; it just breaks them. Oh, then Deku just runs past Aizawa, telling Aizawa that they're probably here for someone if they're going for just this class. And then he gives him Kota, and then it shows that he has another smoke bomb. Throws it down, and then Magneto and then Spinner are concerned until Deku freaking gets both of them. 1-2, because he already knows it. He knows a lot of people's guys' body parts and their pressure points. By the way, pressure points don't actually make you knock them out. They just pinch them. But here they knock them out. So Deku hits them all their pressure points, and they both just get knocked out. But then Deku sees this black ooze coming from their mouths, and then they disappear. And then the smoke bomb dissipates, but Deku's not there, and neither are the villains. Aizawa just assumes Deku just ran off, and then the villains escaped, and so Deku just went to get him. So Aizawa just hides Kota, and then Deku runs into the forest, because that's what he did. And then he finally finds Tokoyami just freaking busting up the place. That is until like Todoroki and Bakugo show up to help Tokoyami calm down. Bakugo tells Deku, "I don't need your help, nerd," and Deku just says, "It is Izuku Midoriya, not Deku. To you, okay? Okay, let's get going." Then Sato shows up running with just running with Ochako. She has a lot of broken limbs, by the way, but is way much better built. Izuku says what happened, and Sato, no, it's not fucking Sato, it's Ojiro. That's not Ojiro either. Sajiro? I don't fucking know his name, but he has multiple arms. And they all just start running, and then Todoroki starts explaining that they're after Bakugo, and Deku just immediately makes his entire game plan to save his ass. So, yeah. And then Compress shows up, but Deku just has that, for some reason, inhuman reaction time. Quote unquote inhuman, by the way. He still has, like, high peak human reaction time. So he just clocks him without even realizing he clocked, breaking Compress's mask, dropping him. Well, obviously, he doesn't reveal his entire face, just his top hat and his eyes and his mouth. So then he just clicks his staff, then just marbles a big rock, then throws it at Deku, and then it expands back into its big form, but Deku was ready for it, because he freaking whacked it, freaking like baseball whacked it before it transformed, and then it slammed into the ground instead of hitting him. So he just runs away, picking up Baku, and starts sprinting, and then Todoroki and Izuku start freaking, then Duplo arms start gonna compress until Compress gets the upper hand, and get able to shoot himself off. Oh yeah, Deku just then Compress shows up, tries to get him, but Deku just uses his freaking gun to shoot Compress, but Compress gets nicked in the arm, and then just freaking switches hands. Well, he loses his staff, but he picks it up with the other hand, and then freaking throws it pretty well though, and then gets Deku in the neck. Doesn't knock him out, but it freaking docks him, makes him fall over, and Compress gets Bakugo and starts sprinting away until they throw freaking Tokoyami at him, which makes Tokoyami get into his beast state and just whack Compress back down. And then Deku starts putting suppressive fire by shooting gun bullets, making sure he doesn't hit Dark Shadow. He's that good at shooting. And eventually obviously Compress still doesn't get hit by the bullets. Except he gets nicked in the leg and starts freaking limping. Obviously Dark Shadow's lost control again, but Todoroki burns away making a forest fire that calms Tokoyami down, and then they fix Tokoyami and make him go to sleep by knocking him on the neck. And then Deku starts sprinting after Compress. Oh, sorry. He starts sprinting after Compress, finds him, and then throws his freaking shotgun at him. Compress turns around to get hit in the head, but he throws a marble away he throws a marble to Dabi, who just burns, but Deku, he actually saves Compress from getting burned alive, but Compress then hits Deku on the neck, knocking him out, not knocking him out, but almost making him knock out. Then he picks up Compress and just freaking chalks him at Dabi. Dabi gets freaking hit because it was a ruse because Compress and him both know that Deku was going to save him. So they all get, they're able to escape by the goo again. Actually, by Korokiri. And then they both, they both just hop through the portal and leave. And then Deku just, yells, damn it, because he didn't expect that to happen. Actually, he did expect it, but he was wishing it didn't happen. But at least he has his tracker. And we flash back a bit a minute ago. When Deku was shooting his gun and he got him in the leg, we see Deku smirking. And then we see the bullet. Then we see the bullet replay in slow motion. Then we zoom into it, and to show that it's one of Deku's trackers. The one he's freaking stuck in the chainsaw on. By the way, yeah. And then Deku has to freaking walk back to camp in defeat. But still confident that he's gonna find them and freaking jump them with the police force and some pro heroes. By the way, Deku then puts a towel on him. It's a very cold, warm towel to warm him up. And that is where we're going to leave things right now. Well, that's all I had for you today. You already got the message from the... Did you get the message from the beginning? You didn't. Like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell. I want to hit 50 subscribers so I can do a 50 subscriber special. I will be seeing you later. Goodbye. You are the best. Remember that.